and welcome to today's video. As you may have noticed, you won't be seeing my pretty face today, unfortunately. I have decided to do a couple of spreads for Halloween, and since we are pretty much very close to Halloween, I think it's about an appropriate time to share them with you. So I have decided to do like 2 spreads per video. So I'm going to film this one and see if I have enough material for another one. But let's start with this spread and see where we are in the end. So the first spread, the one that you see laid in front of you, is actually a Haunted heart spread. That's the name of it. Inspired by a song. For those of you that have not heard it, perfect song for Halloween. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's absolutely amazing. So the Haunted heart spread is actually talking about unresolved emotions. I feel like it can be used in relationship type reading, but at the same time you can definitely use it for any other type of emotion that may be unresolved, whether that be for family, even whether that be for friends, and any other sort of thing that you feel like needs to be addressed and ultimately understood better. So without further ado, let's start. So we have card number 1, and I'm sorry if you hear paper in the background because I have like all my descriptions written down. Let's see, card number 1 is the one at the top, and for this demonstration I'm using the Halloween tarot actually. I just wanted to address that, which I'm pretty sure most of you know what deck this is, but just wanted to make a note of that. So the first card is actually understanding the feeling, and it's also talking about the object connected to the feeling. So let's say that we have a specific feeling of guilt. Just an example. This card would actually tell us more about that feeling, and ultimately it's kind of a connection or origin in that respect. So where is that feeling coming from? Who it is connected to? Is it a person? Is it an object? Is it an actual action that we did, a decision, or whatever else it may be? So this will talk more about the connection of that feeling in our kind of a consciousness and our understanding. Card number 2 is actually this guy here. Oh, the Wheel of Fortune. And this is cute. Card number 2, we have where this feeling actually comes from, and ultimately its origin. So this will go deeper into. It's sort of connected to this too, to the first card actually, talking more about the origin of the feeling, why it would have come into being, and ultimately what sparked the feeling. So that's card number 2. Then we have card number 3. Oh, this is an interesting one. So card number 3 is actually what this feeling represents. So the card here represents the purpose of the feeling at hand. So motive for the feeling, what the subconscious perception of the feeling is. So let's say guilt, for example. Once again, let's take that example. What would be the cause for the guilt in the situation with the person or whatever else it is? What would be the cause for that feeling to arise subconsciously? What is the connotation of that feeling? What is the purpose for that feeling within? Because it may not necessarily always be related, and that's what the problem is with unresolved feelings at times, because they don't always make sense at first. But this card will ultimately allow to look at the subconscious, which may hold the answers that we are not yet consciously aware of. So we move on to card number 4. Okay, the trigger for the feeling. I feel like this is pretty explanatory. This will talk more about the triggers subconsciously and consciously, situations, people, other emotions, thoughts that trigger the feeling that is unresolved. So I feel like this is also a great help to understand where it comes from, and ultimately relating to all of the cards above, being able to get a great understanding of the feeling, where it comes from, and how to deal with it going forward, which are the cards down below. Then we go into the card number 5, which is this little dude, and it's the world. I love this cat. How can this feeling be put to rest is the position for this one. So this is momentary action that will address the feeling and help integrate it. So it's very important because these two cards are very similar, but they have a different aspect. So I'm actually going to open these two as well. So the last two cards are actually a long-term plan. The last 3 cards are actually divided into 2 sections. So as I said before, the card number 5 actually represents the momentary action. So as you pull the spread, this will give you advice on how to address the feeling in this very moment and help you work with it right now. So recognize it and address it. I feel like that's the first card. The second 2 cards are actually going to be the long-term plan. So these 2 guys are going to be advising you on day-to-day steps, day-to-day activities and patterns that either need to be shifted or adopted in order to help heal the feeling ultimately, and integrate it more and more with the daily practice. So short-term or ultimately momentary action that can be taken, and these 2 are long-term action. So I hope that you enjoyed this spread. The video was actually separated in 2 by accident, but that's okay. So let me know if you like the spread. I'm actually going to put it as a separate video, and then I'm going to film another one because I feel like it's already too long in that respect. So I hope you enjoy. Do let me know if you use it, what's your experience with it, and so on and so forth. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day, and until next time, bye bye.